Well, friends, we had a whole different video planned for today, but Bungie dropped a bombshell on us. Okay, maybe a bit much. But in their TWAB today, they did something that really caught me by surprise, and I have to say, good job, Bungie. Yeah, I know, we haven't said that in a minute on the channel, it feels like, but they did something today that was fantastic. And I just kind of want to give them a little bit of praise here. You know, I'm not saying they're the greatest thing in the world. Like this should be the normal, but since they haven't done it in a long time, I want to give that positive reinforcement to keep doing stuff like this. But in case you're wondering what it is that we're talking about, oh, sorry, I should have got this set up a little bit sooner. Bungie basically in their TWAB today, let's do that. There we go. In their TWAB today, talked about basically gave us an update on game stability and the next steps. And guys, it was not a small like paragraph long or 2-paragraph long thing. Like they went into detail talking about the game's stability, the next steps, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we get this whole section here. There's title, another section all through here, down to here, right? So all this that you see in the blue or whatever color it is you're seeing is in terms of game stability. And I'm not going to go over this in detail. Like you can go read it or you can watch somebody else's video that if you want the juicy details, but this right here is so good. Okay, no, and for a multitude of reasons. Number one, obviously we're getting an update on game stability, and that's been one of the biggest issues that we have grilled Bungie about on the channel, that many other channels have also grilled Bungie about. That's been one of the biggest issues in Destiny's like past existence over the past few months, right? And now we finally have a really in-depth look at what's going on, you know, and it's good, but it's also long overdue. I mean, we were expecting this a long time ago. We were expecting them to give us a full update on what's going on a long time ago, and it's better late than never, you know. But I think that it's still a good thing, you know. The fact that Bungie is being open with us once again, even though they used to be like that long ago, you know, long ago it wasn't this PR BS blah blah blah, you know. It was you know, DMG, and I know we talk about them a lot. Those are some of the original like you know, what are they called? Community leaders. Sorry. Those were some of the original community leaders from Destiny 1, like the early days of Destiny 1 and, you know, Bungie's venture into the current era of where we are now. So if you don't recognize those names, that's who I'm talking about. Okay. But, you know, Deej over on his Twitter would be like, you know, giving us all the feedback, you know, and now over on Twitter, we got the whole like Destiny 2 team. Feels very impersonal to me personally, but you know, it doesn't matter. You know, my opinions don't matter, right? But this is good here. You know, we're getting updates to the game. They also gave us a road ahead. You know, again, I'm not going to read all this, but we've got some stuff from the mid-season update for season 22, so next season's launch, and then the season 23. Like they're constantly working on bettering our game stability. I want to say servers so bad, but it's in terms of game stability here, and this is good. This is something that players have been wanting for a long time. We've been asking for, please give us an update. What's going on? Why are we constantly, you know, down on Thursdays and Tuesdays? You know, why are we constantly getting error coded, you know, on Grandmaster Nightfall runs or on Flawless Trials cards or, you know, whatever else is going on? And it's been radio silence. And especially after last week's like almost insulting TWAB that was insultingly short, which we had a whole video talking about that one last week. This is a definite like a step up, but I also can't help but think that this is on purpose. Bungie was radio silent last week, right? Because the whole thing with microtransactions, and that's something I don't want people to forget about, okay? Because microtransactions, Astacross's video that he launched last week or whenever it was, like that's all still very, very relevant, okay? You know, and Bungie then comes out this week with a mega TWAB, so to speak. Not really mega TWAB, but it's a very substantial TWAB talking about TWID. Sorry, I keep calling it TWAB. I mean TWID this week in Destiny. You know, talking about game stability and next steps and stuff like that. Like, it's very, very good. I'm very happy that we're getting this, but at the same time, I can't help but feel like this is intentionally done to, you know, shift players' vision from, you know, the whole microtransactions and stuff like that to this. Like, you know, everybody's mad about microtransactions and blah blah blah, and we've had our week to steam about it, so to speak, you know, and then they drop this bomb on us, and this is all good stuff. Like, none of this is bad here, you know. This is fantastic. This is something we've been waiting on for a long time. Like, is an update on the game's, you know, on the game's stability, right? But we cannot let it blind us, because this is something that Bungie does. You know, they'll have a huge issue, you know, and then a week or two later they'll bring up something else, like they'll fix something else that has also been an issue for a long time or something like that. You know, they'll talk about it, and so players are like, oh yeah, they're finally, you know, fixing this or doing that, blah 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 blah, like whatever it is, you know, so that we get the bed sheet right back over our eyes, right? So, you know, I want to make this video to throw that out there. Now, again, does it mean that this is a bad thing? No, of course not. Like, the game stability, like, it is nice to have some insight on the game stability stuff. You know, I would strongly recommend you go read about it and stuff like that if you care anything about that. But it's good to get that, and it's good to see that Destiny is not being forgotten, because seeing things like this does give me hope in time. And this is something that, like, I'm sure they've been working on it for a long time. You know, as I sit here and read through all this stuff, I'm sure it's something that Bungie has been working on for a long time, right? It's not like they're just ignoring it and all of a sudden, oh, now it's an issue. Like, I'm sure it's, you know, been a an issue on their radar for a long time. It's just that they've been so quiet about it, and that's what's so frustrating to players. Like, hey, we get it if there's server issues going on. We get it if there's, you know, if there's, I think, what was the last issue? They're upgrading the servers or something like that. I can't exactly remember what it was because it's been a while, but, you know, if there's issues going on, that's fine. Just tell us about it so we can be like, hey, you know what? We know, we understand, we get it. Because guess what? No game is going to be perfect. You know, if Destiny just randomly went offline one day, you know, and Bungie said, hey, like, we're working on a fix for it on Twitter. Okay, like, yeah, sure, we get it. You know, not a Tuesday or Thursday. Like I'm saying, like, you know, like a Saturday night, it just goes offline, it gets taken down, everybody's getting error coded, blah blah blah. Bungie said, hey, we're working on a fix. Then, you know, Monday morning they come out and say, hey, here's what happened over the weekend. You know, we experienced some kind of, you know, technical issue, blah blah blah, explain it. I think players would be more okay. It's the constant radio silence from Bungie that is so aggravating to players. Because it's like, we understand that this is an issue, we're fixing it. Like, that's great, but, like, that doesn't help us at all, you know? And it's like, especially when it's something like, you know, that's not like due to like a cheat or an exploit or something like that. I don't see why not just tell us, you know, whatever it is, you know? And I know that when they first tweet those, they probably don't know what it is, right? They probably say, oh, you know, we are working on this issue right now, we'll give you updates as they come along. Okay, we get it. But, like, within a few hours, I don't know, but I would assume they could probably at least figure out what's wrong. You know, hey, you know, players are experiencing constant crashes because of a network issue, or, you know, because there is a coding bug or something like that. Like, nothing crazy specific or anything like that. That's not what we're asking for, but, you know, just something. But no, Bungie has a tendency to be radio silent for whatever reason. And this is, again, this is new to Bungie. Not new in the sense that, oh, it just started happening recently, but, like, original D1, all through D1, Bungie was very open and honest about communication, you know, from what I remember. Again, I don't go back and look at old tweets and stuff like that, you know, and old TWABs and stuff like that. But from what I remember, Destiny 1, all the way up until the end of Rise of Iron, was very open and communicated well with the player base. You know, even Destiny 2, early days, you know, into Forsaken, they would communicate very well what's going on. Hey, here's what's happening, you know, we're working on a fix. Hey, here's what's going to be going on, you know, the game's going to go down, whatever, blah 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 blah. But now it seems like they don't do that. Now it's just, oh, the game's down, we're fixing it, and that's all we get. And not even after the fact do we get that. I mean, I think occasionally they'll give us an after the fact, like, you know, in a TWAB, in next week's TWAB or something like that, they'll be like, hey, you know, we discovered an issue kicking players to orbit because blah 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 blah. But, like, that doesn't help players. You know, when players can't play a game that they paid for, they should be told what it is, like the reason is, you know, at least a tweet. you know, hey, we don't really understand the issue. And I know that it's probably a professionality thing, you know, like they don't want to say we don't know what the issue is because that makes them sound unprofessional, but like something along the lines of, hey, like we're working on discovering the reason that players are getting kicked to error, or kicked to orbit, blah, 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 or whatever, you know? But no, we don't even get that. Sorry, I kind of went off on a little rant there, but yeah, the update on game stability, if you want to know about what they're doing, go read today's TWAB. You know, it's got some good stuff in there about what's been going on, and then their roadmap for what's ahead. But the main thing that I want you to take away from this is, don't let this excitement blind you to the microtransaction discussion that has been going on for basically, you know, all of last week or whatever. You know, don't let that blind you, because I think that this is a tactic from Bungie. I think that this is a tactic because they've done it time and time again where, you know, there's obviously a major issue. So let's address another major issue that people have been wondering about for a long time. I would put money on it that is the point of this whole TWAB here, right? But yeah, anyways, I'm done ranting about it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, I'm sure everybody's happy to see that we're getting updates on game stability and stuff like that. But do you think that this is Bungie's attempt to, you know, cover our eyes to the whole microtransaction discussion and the monetization of Destiny that has been heavily talked about over the past few weeks? Or do you think this is just Bungie's attempt to, I guess, make it right with the player base? You know, they realize that they've been doing the player base kind of wrong, so they want to make it right. Got to start somewhere, blah, blah, blah. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Of course, like the video if you enjoyed it. It helps out the channel tremendously. Subscribe for more daily Destiny content, and do me a favor, watch the video that you see on the end screen now, because for whatever reason, YouTube thinks you'll like it. That's it for me, and I'll see y'all in the next one.